Welcome to Marino World Weekend. Watch for fresh perspectives. Marino World is moving faster and higher, moving deeper for core issues. I'm Lynn Bacani. Our top stories. ICS highlights Philippines' potentials. Marino party list vows to push maritime bills. PCG sues officers of MV Happy HIRO. 154 cadets graduate from MAAP. International Chamber of Shipping or ICS Chairman Esben Poulson has highlighted the potentials of the Philippines in the global shipping. ICS represents the world's national ship owner associations and over 80% of the world merchant fleet. In a press conference after his meeting with the Filipino Ship Owners Association or FSA, Poulson underscores Philippines remains the world's #1 supplier of seafarers. He says the crew change problem in China and the war between Russia and Ukraine open more opportunities for the Filipinos.
So, as far as China is concerned, I think it is not correct that China has passed Philippines in absolute numbers. I think I don't know what the numbers are exactly offhand, but I believe China is less, and frankly speaking, because of the crew change crisis, if I can put it that way, over the last 2.5 years, the difficulty of changing Chinese crew, even in Chinese ports, is highly problematical and has been fraught with the difficulties. And there's anecdotal evidence to suggest that a number of owners have simply given up and decided that they cannot work with Chinese seafarers, and so they go elsewhere, including, obviously, to the Philippines. If you add this to the Ukraine-Russian conflict going on at this moment, those countries represent about just under 15% of the international seafaring labor force. In round numbers, about 270,000 people. So a lot of there's question mark over a lot of them. And then you have the Chinese situation. On top of that, it follows that this, in my opinion, is a big opportunity for the Philippines, because the Philippines has, up to a point, the supply, if you like. But what is very important from an industry perspective is that we make this industry attractive, well rewarded, and properly organized to give confidence to these young people to come into this business. And of course, based on the COVID crisis, many Philippine seafarers have question marks, understandably. Some of them went 6, 8, 9 months beyond contract date. This is not how it should be. But they did, and they are, as I said in my remarks before, the unsung heroes. They stuck with it. And it's thanks to them in many cases that world trade can continue. So I think if you take all these factors together with the excellent work being done by Marino, we had a presentation this morning, and I must say I was very impressed with the initiatives that Marino are taking to use technology to streamline a lot of the processes related to seafarers for the benefit of everyone concerned, not least for the seafarers themselves. I think, to me, all the stars are aligned for a healthy future for Philippine seafaring. I just hope that we can make it interesting enough for them, and I hope that the institutions can continue raising the standards so that they can be best in class.
Meanwhile, Poulson shares his perspectives on President Ferdinand Marcos' plan to make the Philippines a world's logistics hub. He said Marcos' vision is doable considering the Philippines' natural strategic location to become a logistics center, but only if there is a political will to build the required infrastructures.
Well, I was very encouraged to read the press reports that he is apparently committed to port development and infrastructure. I mean, there's no question that infrastructure is always really very, very key in development. I mean, you know, Singapore is an island of 720 square kilometers. I mean, it's tiny. Everything's built that way, not this way, right? But they have invested very heavily in infrastructure, as of places like Dubai, and you know, you only have to see what a difference it actually makes. And you know, for a country the size of the Philippines, if these politicians really could deliver on these promises and make major improvements to infrastructure, port and the access to the port and the hinterland and so on, you know, in terms of its contribution to trade, exports, and just generally business, would be enormous. And I think it's heartening that he has said he would do this, and I just hope that he will. But politicians the world over, and I guess the Philippines is no exceptions, make a lot of promises, and in the end of the day, do they deliver? We can only hope so. I believe that I'm sure he's sincere in this, and if he surrounds himself with a team of capable people, and there is a political will and leadership to want to do it, it is doable, and I think it would have a major impact, because the Philippines, you know, its natural location on the globe is, you know, it lends itself to be a major logistics hub. I mean, why not? It certainly could be. But all these things are, you know, the financial commitment that it takes and the political will to execute. That's the hard part. But I'm certainly, I'm sure you are too, very hopeful that it could work out. Because at least, as I understand it, he and the Vice President are of the same party, and so hopefully, you know, at the top there will be less bickering than normally would be the case, and they will be aligned in their vision.
Re-elected Marino Party-list Congressman Sandro Gonzales has vowed to push for the proposed bills supporting the Maritime Industry Authority, or Marina, plans and programs. Marino Party List garnered 530,382 votes in the May 2022 national elections. Gonzales' oath of office was administered by House Speaker Martin Romualdez on June 1. In his recent meeting with Marina officials led by Administrator Vice Admiral Robert M. Pedrad, Gonzales assures as the 19th Congress starts its session, he will lobby for the bills Marina needs to be passed. Marina has asked support for its 10-year Maritime Industry Development Plan, or MIDP, for its organizational expansion, for its Marina Training Institute, and for the proposed Marina budget for 2023. The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, has sued 4 officers of the bulk carrier MV HIRO, which collided with a Filipino fishing boat, FBJOT-18, off Palawan last week, leaving 7 fishermen missing. In a press briefing last June 1st, PCG Commandant Artemio Abu says reckless imprudence resulting to multiple homicide and serious physical injuries and damage to properties were filed against the seafarers. The 4 were identified as Captain Meshai Amir, a Croatian, second mate Bogdan George Antoni, a Romanian, and 2 other ship officers, Tyrone Makiling and McKinley Amante, both Filipinos.
Alam naman natin na yung Coast Guard yung in charge sa conduct ng Port State Control Inspection. When we say Port State Control, yun yung pag-ensure natin ng compliance ng foreign vessels to the safety requirements. Yun ang ating sinecheck pagka-conduct ng Port State Control Inspection. So, pwede lang tayong mag-detain ng vessel through this function of the Coast Guard, through the Port State Control implementation, kung serious or severe yung kanyang violation when it comes to safety regulation. So sa sitwasyon nito that the vessel violated the law of the land, meron dang namatay sa atin, and well, of course para siguro natin na legitimate yung pag-detain natin sa kanya. So pinakandak natin siya ng investigation, and after the conduct of investigation, we found it necessary for us to file a case to the master and the officers of the vessel. So as of yesterday at 4 p.m., the Coast Guard lawyer, of course, also the PNI members of the PNI club were there. We filed a case. The Coast Guard filed a case to the master and the officers of MV Happy Hero at Antique Prosecutor's Office. Kahapon po yun ng alas 4 ng hapon. Ang charges na ibinigay nila natin sa kanila is reckless imprudence, resulting to multiple homicide and serious physical injuries and damage to properties. So what we're waiting, yung court order na for the Coast Guard to detain the vessel. It necessitates appropriate court order. So yung court order na magsasabi sa amin na i-detain ninyo yung vessel because of these charges levied against them.
The May 30 collision resulted in the sinking of the fishing boat carrying 20 Filipino fishermen. 13 of them were rescued, including some who sustained injuries. A batch of 152 students have recently earned their degrees from the Maritime Academy of Asia and the Pacific, or MAAP, with simple ceremonies at Kamaya Point, Mariveles, Bataan. 78 earned ABS in Marine Transportation, or BSMT, while 74 were conferred BS in Marine Engineering, or BS-MARE. They were all appointed ensigns in the Reserved Force of the Navy, a third command of the Armed Forces, or AFP. The graduation rite was graced by Mr. Toshihito Inoue, chairman of the International Mariners Management Association of Japan, or IMA. Thank you for watching Marino World Weekend. Stay on board. Subscribe to Marino World Online for more meaningful maritime news and views. I am Lynn Bacay. God bless Maritime Philippines.